tickets because we all have a mental health story.
And here's that number again, 905-305-SHOW, or go to markhamtheater.ca. It's the High Notes Gala for Mental Health this Saturday at the Flato Markham Theater. And I am so happy to have Dan Hill in studio to tell us about that. Hey, Dan.
Hey, it's great to be here.
It's nice to see you.
Good to see you again.
I guess you got a birthday coming up pretty soon, eh?
Yep.
Another month or so?
That's right, early June.
Yeah, you and I share the same birth year. You and I are both the same age. I'm a few months apart. 42, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's say that.
Yeah. Just 42 going on 63 or something. Anyway, you know what? I just played Sometimes When We Touch not too long ago. I think last time you were here, you were telling me that that song put a little gas in the car for you, and I think even helped buy your house.
Yeah, it did, actually.
Yeah, and you're still in the same home, too, right?
Well, no, I just sold it recently.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Down at the beach?
Yep.
And where'd you move to?
I moved to another house in the beach.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, so all is good. But yeah, that song did pay for my first house.
I hear a little high water down there. I hope everything's okay.
It seems to be okay.
Yeah, good. We were chatting a moment ago, too, about this Saturday's gala. You'll be down there with Lou Bagoy at the Flato Markham Theater. Music, dance, inspiring stories, and laughter. You have some stories to tell as well of some of your challenges in life with your mother and your sister. Will you be sharing some of those stories?
Yes, I'll be talking about some of the issues that my mother had and conquered, some of the mental health issues that my sister had, who was bipolar schizophrenic, and also some of the issues that I've struggled with, as a result of losing my sister a few years ago. So it'll be a very personal show, and we'll be talking about mental illness, being open about it, and about overcoming it.
It's got to be difficult, I would think, for a lot of people to be open about mental illness and challenges because there's a certain stigma attached to it, isn't there? It might be seen as, well, I guess in some cases, you feel depressed. Is it just a normal depression or is there something else going on? It's difficult to diagnose, isn't it?
Yeah, that's depression. We still have a long way to go in the psychiatric field in terms of disseminating depression, but it's usually a combination of factors that contribute to depression. And of course, manic depression is bipolar, and that's a whole other thing where you swing from one end to the other. And they have found effective medicine now that can treat bipolar quite successfully.
I would think, particularly for someone like yourself, a performer, where there are a lot of ups and downs to begin with. I mean, when you're on stage performing, there's the energy and the adrenaline is flowing. You're on a high, and then you come off stage, and maybe a few days later, there's a real low that goes along with it.
That's true. There are peaks and valleys that come with being a performer. And there is something very exciting and inspiring about being on stage. And then it's almost a culture shock sometimes going off stage back into the real world.
Yeah. So how do you discern between something like that and what might be a mental illness challenge then?
Every situation is different. So if you're, for example, situationally sad, meaning that it's a situation, then you change the situation. Right. Whereas if you're chemically sad, meaning there's just a sadness that is not connected to anything specifically, you just have a chemical depression, then you usually, go through a lot of psychotherapy, you use medication, and physical exercise has been shown to be a tremendous help.
I think I read that there 1 in 5 Canadians suffers from some sort of mental illness.
That's right.
1/3 of those 1 in 5 don't talk about it, or at least find difficulty in talking about it, or will talk about it. I guess if more people talked about it, because there are drugs, as you said, and some medications that certainly can help a lot of people.
Yes, it's a disease like diabetes or cancer, and it should be discussed as such. So slowly but surely the veneer of secrecy is coming off the stigma of depression and mental illness, and we're able to talk more freely about it in society. And that's one of the things that this concert on Saturday at the Markham Theater is trying to do, is to open up the lines of dialogue. so that we can be more open about mental illness and talk about ways that we can overcome it.
Yeah, I guess some people see it perhaps if they're not if they're feeling a little depressed, they may see it as a weakness of character. Is that possible?
Yeah, you're lazy, get over it, that
yeah,
kind of thing.
like suck it up.
Exactly.
Just
Yeah.
get on with it, and it's of course more serious than that.
Yes, it is.
So tell me about the show. You'll be there with Lou Bogoy and others. You'll perform as well?
Yeah, I'll be performing and telling stories. So my show will be sort of like a storyteller show, where my songs will be buttressed by stories about what influenced the songs, what I was going through, what my family may have been going through. I talk about songs I wrote when my mom was suffering from mental illness and was at Women's College Hospital. It'll be a very personal show, but also funny. My stories sometimes can be pretty funny as well.
Well, I remember I read your book, I'm My Father's Son, and there was a story in there about, did you have a Bristol board or something up in your room you were putting some pins on it or something like that? Am I thinking about the right thing? You had something that you put up in your room as you traveled and as you went around on tours and that kind of thing. And if I remember correctly, it was here you are traveling the world, you're performing hit songs, you're on top of the music world, and you come back home and you're just your dad's son again. You're just like a regular
That's right.
family member, right?
Yeah, that's right. That was always quite a transition.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like it's going to be a great show. It is this Saturday at the Flato Markham Theater. Dan Hill, comedian Lou Bogoy and friends, music, amazing dance, stories, laughter, and tickets available at 905-305-SHOW or markhamtheater.ca. High notes for mental health. And it's nice of you to come by, Dan.
It's great to be back again. Thank you for having
listen,
me.
you've got an open invitation.
Thank you.
Anytime. Are you decorating that new home now?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, that's no fun, is it?
No.
I know. We're going through the same thing, and there's all kinds of decisions of colors and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dan.
Thank you.
Dan Hill on Zoomer Radio.
All right, Jenna. Looks like you could save up to 30% on car insurance today.
30